Evening to one and all. To our today's webinar from the MSME and Startup Promotion Board is on the topic is empowering MSMEs with tech, cost optimization and smart decision making with AI. Our learned speaker is CMA Vijay Kiran Agastya for today's evening. So just before starting, we want to play our institute's anthem. So please.
असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्युर्मामृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति.
So now we are back again. Our topic for today is, again I am repeating, it is empowering MSMEs with tech, cost optimization and smart decision making with AI. I just want to convey the message given by our chairman of this MSME board because he is preoccupied. He wanted to tell me that he has informed me to carry on this activity for our today's speaker. Before we start, a little brief about our today's speaker. He is the CMA Vijay Kiran Agastya. He is the founder and MD, Mentor Me, leading innovations in career intelligence and training. He is the ex-vice president Deloitte with 20 plus years in the top tier corporate leadership. In 2015-16, he was the then youngest chairman ICAI in Hyderabad, now regional council member for the period to 2023 to 27. He is having 500 plus guest lectures he has taken and global TTT programs certified by ACCA UK and CIMA UK. He is a consultant trainer at NIMSME and academic advisor at Osmania University. So I am handing over to our today's speaker, CMA Vijay Kiran Agastya sir. Sir, welcoming you, and you please start your program. Please.
Thank you, Dr. Sumita Chakraborty. Thank you for that brief and nice introduction. I'm trying to share my screen. Let me know once you're able to see it. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Perfect. Good evening. Good evening, one and all who has joined today's session on a Tuesday evening. If the attendance is 120 plus, I'm really glad. I know 5 p.m. is early for those who are in employment. With all tech related programs, there's always a catch. There are always members who are high end in terms of tech capability or tech understanding. One extreme where they have spent their major portion of their careers building technology or implementing technology, so on and so forth. On the other end, there may be members who have a very basic understanding of what tech is. Even though some somewhere it says AI. I think I'll try to limit to basic tech and then maybe one or two examples of AI. So without making assumptions of what the audience is, it's a wide spectrum of low understanding of technology to a very high understanding of technology. So I'll try to keep it at a basic moderate level, and talk about tools that MSMEs can easily implement, tools that some of us are aware, maybe one or two new tools that could be good comparison for us based on our current understanding. And it's a short session, so I'll try to spend 5 to 10 minutes showing one example. Now, the catch that I have is some of these tools or most of the tools that I would suggest are Indian brands. I do not want to showcase any one of them in particular. I don't want to become a brand ambassador to any one of them. I don't want to be, you know, a sales person for any of these brands. So I'll not get to details like pricing, why something is better than the others. I'll try to focus on features. You can make your comparisons based on whatever is your current standard of tool or technology that you're using. So this is what we'll cover over the next 40-45 minutes, and then we'll spend a few minutes on Q&A. Again, like I said, by no means I would like to assume that I'm an expert at this topic. I'm sure there are so many experts in the audience today. Anything can be shared through chat messages, or anything can be shared at the end when we get a chance to turn on our microphones. It's always for the benefit of all the members. Combined experience of 120 people is much, much higher than the little experience that I bring to the table. So we'll talk a little bit about current tech landscape of MSMEs in India. Then what role we can play as CMAs in the digital enablement process. A few tools, just an overview. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on each or any specific tool. Then I kind of put down a 4-step framework. If you want to be that finance technologist, so to speak, and advise MSMEs, what steps or what methodology you should adopt is something that I would like to spend some time and then some Q&A. So I hope the 40-45 minutes would be good enough for us to get a perspective on this. But before I go there, just spend a minute on how many MSMEs are there in India, and what is some statistics on what is the type of MSMEs, etc. I'm now toggling into yeah, a website. I hope I'm able to show you the website. I'll take a pause for the transmission. So this is the MSME website. I'm sure most of you are aware now, starting 1st April 2025, the MSME thresholds have changed. Um, Thresholds generally are a combination of investments in plant and equipment and turnover, right? Now the turnover thresholds are quite high. For micro, it's 10 crores, 100 crores for small and medium, even bigger thresholds. So the other day we were discussing a good number of large companies now get into the bucket of medium enterprises. The idea that government had is to provide the benefits that MSMEs get over a sustainable period of time, right? You move into another threshold, then you start losing certain benefits. In order not to curtail that advantage, the thresholds have been increased. Now, this is the MSME dashboard. Look at the chevron or box at the left-hand side top. You'll see the total number of registrations made as per the Udyam portal. Udyam portal is a portal maintained by the MSME, MSME department. So there are 6.35 crores MSMEs in this country. At some point, this number was hovering around 7 crores, but I think they all did not get into Udyam. Another point to remember here is with the changes in the threshold, some large companies which have moved to medium may not have come to Udyam yet, because it's just a month and a half. Unless they see the benefits of coming into Udyam, I don't think they must have done that at a good number. So another thing to note here is if you look at the second box, out of these 6.35 crore MSMEs, micro companies are about 6.3 crores. A large number has now moved to micro. Even earlier, the micro number was significantly higher. Now with the change in threshold, a large number will move into micro. 4.72 lakh small enterprises, 35,000 medium enterprise. This number could go up with a change in the threshold. So I just wanted to show this to talk about what is the scale that we are talking about when we are talking about MSMEs. We are talking about 6.35 crore companies. Forget micro if you think that micro could be the bandiwala, the small, very small retailer, very small sellers, etc. Even otherwise, I think we are talking about a population of about 5 lakh companies who are either underserved or not served in terms of whatever are their financial requirements. When I say financial, we might consider funding and other stuff, but accounting and finance requirements, let me say. Okay. So with that background, let's look at what is the current landscape in terms of technology usage. See, there are four major pain points most of the MSME companies have. One is there's hardly any tracking MSMEs make of their receivables and payables, right? Therefore, they really don't have a sense of what are their cash flows like. Cash flow management or cash flow mismanagement, if you will, right? That's one of the biggest pain points. If we look at the statistic of how many small companies stroke startups get closed, when we analyze the reasons why startups or small companies get closed, more than 60% cases it is because they didn't manage their cash flows well. Then comes all the other things. The idea was not fully evolved, market did not accept, so on and so forth. But a large portion of it is they did not manage their cash flow really well, right? And then limited forecasting capabilities. This is especially important because MSMEs would like to get funds. They would like to get funds from banks and financial institutions, and you will have to present your financials for working capital requirements or other forms of loans, and you will have to do forecasting for you to be able to do that. And the forecasting abilities in most MSMEs is very limited. So that's another challenging area. In fact, a lot of decisions are made based on gut feel rather than information, rather than statistics, or rather than financials. So third pain point is there's a lot of manual efforts. Let's take accounting, for example. Still a lot of MSMEs do manual invoicing. They have manual management of receivables, manual payrolls, registers. A number of places still have registers, diaries, and documents that don't get into a digital format at all. Manual effort naturally leading to low efficiencies, inaccuracies, etc. We see a lot for those MSMEs who have crossed the GST threshold. We see a lot of issues in terms of GST reconciliations, right? Because there is a lot of manual invoicing, and then when you get to your GST registers, the numbers in both the books don't tie out for various reasons. So that leads to a lot of inefficiencies. Lack of real-time decision support. I think I already said this. There's no real-time information, so there's a lot of gut feel based decision making that is taken, done. I've run this business for 8 years, 10 years, whatever, so I know how to decide in this situation rather than looking at some numbers and decide what is the right thing. These decisions could be pricing decisions. These decisions could be, where do you want to spend your money? These decisions could be where do you want to invest, stuff, so on and so forth. Gut feel based decisions rather than data based decisions. Now, how can we help in this situation? There are four broad opportunities where we can help, MSMEs, and using some simple tools. I know I have put some images or logos of some of these companies that offer some solutions that we talked about. So cost tracking, cost reduction is definitely our top area. We can help MSMEs track costs against various projects, track costs, by customers, by type of cost, so on and so forth. Whatever is the right thing by the industry. One catch with MSMEs is the four. We have seen 6.3 crore, MSMEs, but they're all serving different types of businesses. They're into different industries, or their support system for different industries. So um, there's no one tracking mechanism that fits all these companies. So we'll have to figure out what is the right cost tracking mechanism for the businesses that we support. Second area, the pain point that we talked about, manual efforts, smart invoicing, collections. Most of the tools that are listed up there, they provide smart invoicing solutions. They provide, receivables tracking. They provide aging, and if you use the right, cloud setup, you are likely to get real-time data in most of this. Some of them do offer cloud, some don't offer cloud, but that opportunity exists. Inventory optimization, pricing optimization, again, an area where we can suggest some technology areas. And financial forecasting, be predictive or non-predictive, but financial forecasting is also an area where we can provide solutions. So for broad areas, again, I'll talk about how our approach should be when we would like to implement, any one of these tools or any other tool that you think is the right tool for the MSMEs. Now, here I want us to be very clear. We are talking a lot about AI today, right? Because we talk a lot about AI, the futuristic ideology is there in our mind. And some tools that I'm talking for MSME may not be that futuristic type thing. We are not touching the fad just for the sake of it, right? So we are talking about small companies. They have less money, less budget. What is the right tool for us to implement in that small company and help that company optimize their cost, be more efficient, so on and so forth. And yeah, at some point they get future ready, and at some point they can use higher end technologies for them to scale up further, right? So the mindset what we should adopt is what I wanted to focus on in the next few slides. Becoming quote unquote finance technologies or financial technologists, right? Not just being the person who is providing finance and accounting support, but also guiding them as to what is the right technology for their business. And when we do that, I know sometimes we are talking about technologies relating to finance, but sometimes we are also talking about technologies that are not finance related, right? Technologies for marketing or technology for HR, so on and so forth. So my first and foremost suggestion in terms of selecting tools for MSMEs is stick to what purpose does this tool solve. Do not get too fancy. See, for example, if you go to large companies and especially cost management or financial planning, visualization, these are the things that we talk to when we talk to large companies or medium-sized companies for that matter. So we go and talk to them about ERP systems, SAP or Oracle. We talk to them about Tableau, Power BI, SAP, we say S4 HANA, the latest version, ClickSense, and printing, whatnot, right? So when we go to MSMEs, I think we should stop doing this talking high-tech jargon with the MSMEs. I think that's becoming a big turn-off with many of them. And as we talk about these tools, we tell them this tool, $1,000, 80,000 rupees, 90,000 rupees, whatever. I think it's a big turnoff. We are not even breaking the ice in terms of bringing the right tool in front of the organization or the owner of the company. So what is happening right now is either MSMEs are under investing on tools, so they're still using registers, pen, paper. At the most, they are using Microsoft Excel, and that to a very basic level of usage. Or they are over investing. They brought a software, but they don't know how to use it. They didn't use it, and at some point, that software becomes redundant for them, right? So very important for us to do is to assess the size of the business. What are their existing processes? What are their pain points? Suggest a tool that will solve the pain point rather than a tool that is nice, fancy, and a great tool to use, right? Simply when we know all the pain points, I think we should figure out the order of priority of which pain point do you like to solve, right? So some simple Indian tools, cost effective. We all know all these names. Again, I'm not saying one is better than the other. You have to figure out what is the best thing. Three common ones: Tally Prime, Zoho Books, Vyapar, and I'll talk about a few more in the slides to come. And the idea is to figure out what is the right tool for that particular business. Yeah, rather than showing any fancy stuff. Second area to focus on, and there has to be an approach to this. We'll talk a little bit about that, a few minutes later. There's still a lot of time spent on manual efforts, right? Most common thing for those MSMEs that are doing GST compliances. Obviously, vendor payments are done by all companies, payroll compliance issues, etc. Right? So second area for us to understand and study before we suggest something is what workflows do you want to automate? And for automating these workflows, what are the right tools? Simply, how do we save time, ensure we are compliant? So certain tools, for example, give reminders on compliance matters, right? They'll tell you today is the day when you have to complete your GST return. Today is the day you have to make a payment, TDS, professional tax, whatever. The workflows are such that, the system is such that it will allow you to get some reminders for you to be able to complete the compliance matters. Third and most important thing, I think, closer to our heart is most MSMEs don't have dashboards that reflect their KPIs, key performance indicators. Insights are not real time. Books don't get closed month on month, sometimes not even quarter on quarter, for lack of proper tools, right? Because there's a lot of manual effort. So most MSMEs would like to look at three simple things. Most MSME owners or managing directors, stroke CEOs. What's simply my profit for this month? Second most important thing that they would like to see: who hasn't paid me? What are my outstanding? Where are my receivables? And third most important thing is, where is my cost? Where is my money leaking? A revenue leakage or heavier costs than what they are supposed to be. So we don't have to, without having to use big tools, big even though I used Power BI here, very clearly free version of Power BI. Without having to get into complex tools, we can build simple dashboards in Excel, in Google Sheets, basic version of Power BI. Zoho has an analytics capability. Tally Prime has some analytics capabilities, so on and so forth. So simple dashboards, simple stuff, nothing complex. I think we should be able to tell them real time what is the cash flows anticipated, where do the receivables stand, how each strategic business unit or service line or cost center, by whatever terminology they use, how are they performing, right? So these are the three aspects that we can play a role. And importantly, what should be our mindset? Our mindset should be I'm not going there to file a return for them. I'm not going there to find some sustainable accounting or tax filing business for myself, right? I would rather want to see how do I make things easier for them, which might mean that I will lose some of these revenues that I'm getting in the shorter term, but the advisory interaction that I have will definitely help me build a stronger bond with the MSME. We would want the small companies to become micro to become small, small to become medium, right? I think if we forego some of these short-term, opportunities by automating stuff, by providing them technology tools, I think the trust factor will help us build a strong bond with them, and in the longer term, I'm very sure that the revenues will be much higher than what we must have foregone. So quick look at some toolkit. Again, I think I said this at the beginning. I'm not trying to say that one is better than the other. We'll see three broad areas where some tools can be used. The first one being accounting and cost control. Three tools, we have Zoho, Vyapar, and Hostbooks. There are host of other tools, right? Now there are hundreds of companies who have built accounting softwares, and some companies are willing to even customize softwares even for MSME companies. So, but these three are popular, so I thought we should spend a little bit of time on these. One focus that I have, and I always do this with whatever MSME that I would like to work with, is I always try to suggest a tool that is made in India, a tool that is free, even if it is not forever. At least it starts as a freemium model, because so that I can see the benefits of using the tool and then put some money on the tool, right? So all the three tools are made in India. So you'll see a few features or few areas where each tool has certain specific ideal opportunity, so to speak. Zoho Books uses cloud-based accounting. GST filing happens straightforward. Bank reconciliations take place very easily. You can see the audit trails, so you can let your auditor also log into the same system and complete the audit procedures, etc. So good for small businesses that don't want to invest heavily on ERPs, large ERPs, popular ERPs, SAP, Oracle, and others. So this is a very good start point. Invoicing takes place easily. Good dashboards are available, so on and so forth. The second one, Vyapar, made in India. There is a free plan. There is some paid versions. Again, not getting into the pricing. You can always work with the marketing teams of these companies to get the right pricing. Very good tool if you're handling inventory a lot. For you, billing, inventory, and expense tracking are key aspects of your business. Consumer products, durable products, supermarkets, stores, etc. I think will have a lot of advantages of using Vyapar. Then host books, again, has a lot of features in addition to what I have listed here. Hostbooks, if you explore, is talking today about how we can automate your workflows, how we can automate your processes, etc. But the basic version, good for accounting, good for compliances, cost center wise analysis, so on and so forth. This has a probably a little more investment as compared to the others. So if a company is growing, let's say micro to small or small to medium, especially, I think, we can always suggest this. Again, if you are using one of these, or if your clients are using one of these, I want you to use that as your reference point, and then try to compare with the other two tools, or if you are using two, try to compare with the third tool. Again, plenty of other tools available. The idea is to see what is the right thing for us. Second area, I think, where we can suggest some tools is financial forecasting, creating some dashboards, etc. Most commonly used tool, as we all know, is Tally Prime. Tally Prime, in combination with people tend to create their own Excel dashboards. One thing with Excel dashboards is you don't have to create all the dashboards on your own. There are a lot of downloadable versions of Excel dashboards online. You can download those and just dump your data and the dashboards automatically run. Obviously, there will be a little bit of challenges in terms of data sizes, in terms of how do I redesign the stuff, etc. But still, I think for a shorter term, medium term, I think these are fair solutions. Second, I think our comfort with Tally has not let most of us get to Google Sheets. Google offers something called Google Sheets. I'll probably show this because this is not something most of us use. And then in combination with one of the generative AI tools, ChatGPT, Perplexity, or DeepSeek, or any tool, we can actually use that in an interesting combination to get good analysis, good insights into financials. Here I'll try and show one example. This is the only example perhaps I'll be able to show given the amount of time. I am switching to yeah, let's say my Gmail account. Okay, so as you all know, in Gmail you will have these additional apps here, Google Apps, and here you have something called Sheets. Yeah. It will take you to these sheets. There are a good number of features in Google Sheets that are similar to Excel, but they're not exactly like Excel. Yeah. So let's see some templates that are inbuilt. Okay. See, invoicing, there's a inbuilt template here. Not only in Google Sheets, Excel also you can download a lot of invoice templates. Once you replace stuff with your own stuff, you can even insert your logo or anything else. It's a ready-made template. You can find, you can create your own INR Indian version of this template and start using it. Add more, whatever. Second advantage here is in Google Sheets, you can create some tables and it will automatically start showing you some table options. Okay, so for example, look at these options. You want to do an event tracking, table readily available. Project tracking readily available. It has all the columns. If you look at, start date, end date, milestones, deliverables, and whatnot. Product prioritization. Those who are into that kind of stuff. Recruitment of applicants. You can use a readily available tool. I have seen some interesting ones. Let's say inventory management. Yeah, there's a readily available tool, and this is customizable. It's not that it is standard and you can't make any changes. Purchase orders. Yeah, sales orders. And the advantage is all at one place. This is not finance specific. See, for example, I like this marketing side of it. You can manage your campaigns, online campaigns, etc. You can do a content tracking. There are also tools for you to manage your funnel, your sales dashboards, etc. So a lot of readily available tables are there on Google Sheets. Yeah. Now this was the invoice template. I'll go back. There's one interesting template for financials. Obviously, they have created it for keeping US small businesses in mind, right? So this is the alphabet. So naturally, there is SEC based this thing and all, but we can modify this slightly and use it for our purposes. So there is a data tab. There's income details. So income details is there for 5 years. There's a balance sheet for 4 years. And then there is a cash flow statement for 5 years. So this is a template. You create this and you can easily get this stuff from your data. Now what I try to do is I will go to one of the generative AI tools. Let's say I know this is China's app. But I tend to fall back on DeepSeek every time ChatGPT is not helping me. It says your daily limit is over, or that type of stuff. So I've already signed up to DeepSeek. DeepSeek works pretty similar to GPT. What I will do is I will take this file that we have on Google. Obviously, this is a sample file. I will download it. So it is now got into my downloads. I go to DeepSeek and I can upload this file. So I think it's there in my downloads, annual financial data. Okay. You can upload a file of simple, analysis tools without having to spend money. DeepSeek is free. What I will do is I'll just write a prompt, analyze the financial data in the attached file and share insights. Share, well, let's be specific. Financial insights. I'll say analyze the data in the attached file and share insights. So what we normally do as analysts, we write manually the commentary, right? Color commentary that we are supposed to provide on that. We tend to manually write. We have to analyze a lot of information and start, putting stuff out there. Most of these generative AI tools, even if you upload an attachment, they get into cell by cell details and they start providing a lot of insights. See, you can ignore the first paragraph. It does some caveats at the beginning. I need to analyze data for 2013 to 17. First, I should look at different sheets. Okay, it's saying all of that. Okay. Starting with the income statement each year from 55 billion, all these also is some caveats. Okay, so it is telling what all it has analyzed. Now the insights come. Yeah, look at these insights. Revenue growth, revenues grew steadily from 55.5 billion to 110 billion, doubling over 5 years. Average growth rates of 18%. Profitability such and such, which is 60.4%, 1 year 55 point. So the color commentary that we normally spend time to derive is already being generated by generative AI and a free of cost tool. Obviously, it has certain limits, how many times you can run it in a day, how many times you can run it in a month, etc., depending on the tool that you're using. See, it's also showing some interesting things. It says key risks and observations. Tax and regulatory risk. The 2017 tax spike and EU fine highlight a vulnerability to regulatory changes. Apparently, in the financials, in our quick look, maybe we did not notice this. There is a spike in the taxes. So it's talking about that. Aggressive investments reduce liquidity but may drive future growth. So there's a lot of color commentary that is derived based on the information that is provided. Even if we assume that this is not 100% accurate, even if we assume that this is not the best analysis, don't we think that this is a great start for us to pick up and then start building on it? And forget about small medium companies. Even large companies, such tools are advantageous, right? The catch is, however, most of these generative tools are cloud-based, or even if they publicly declare that this information doesn't get stored with them, the information becomes public. So that's the downside of some of the free-to-use generative tools, and that holds good to other cloud-based AI or non-AI tools also. So if that is kept aside, I think it does a fantastic job of giving us a first cut analysis. So I'll stop this and go back. So in combination of Excel, Tally, and some of these generative tools, we can freely build certain forecasting. In fact, I forgot. We can go back to this tool and ask it one more question. Can you forecast financials for the period? I know this is an old data, so it is saying 2017, let's say 2018 to 23. It definitely gives us a good first cut. Again, this is just some data uploaded naturally, doesn't have the insights of the industry. It doesn't know what are the outliers in your numbers, etc. But it'll still be a good start for us to start working on um, you know the basic things it takes care, and then we analyze only the unusuals, abnormals, or where there is interpretation of data to be done by looking at multiple different metrics or different numbers. I think that's where we can spend time. Simply put, we can focus on value addition insights and let the basic insights be delivered by it. So it's giving certain opportunity, certain calculations. Some assumptions are being made. You can even tell the generative AI, okay, you have assumed 15% growth. Can you assume only 12% growth, or 12 in 1 year, 15 in 1 year? You can put all that in front of it and say, can you please generate some forecast for me? This will become, an extraordinary, opportunity for us to get first cuts, avoid a lot of manual effort in doing the forecast, simply adjusting where we see things are, there is an anomaly, or where we see things are not in line with what is anticipated or what is expected. So I'll stop there. I know you all can continue to explore GPTs more effectively. For a long period of time, people have been using GPTs only for developing content, etc. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of advantages in terms of using it for financials, forecasting, analyzing numbers, so on and so forth. So I know we are running a little bit late, maybe. So I'll go to the next few slides, and then we'll try to spend some time on Q&A. In terms of inventory and pricing, there are a couple of tools that I would, I have exposure to, and I would recommend. Go Frugal is one thing, and then Marg ERP. I know Marg ERP it's not made a big mark, but I think still has some good capabilities in terms of inventory management. And there are more tools too. I'm just quoting a couple of examples for you to compare with your with your base tool or technology. Before we go to Q&A, I'll spend a few minutes on how our approach should be to support MSMEs, move up the technology or digital value. How do they adopt? One most important aspect to remember is, if you want to become that technologist supporting them, you cannot just be an advisor, right? You cannot just be somebody who will put a guideline, put a roadmap, and move on. For MSMEs, it's very important that you create the design, you create the roadmap, and you have to implement, right? There's not enough, capability or capacity, or both, in MSMEs for them to implement any new technology, right? And as always, human beings are resistant to change. That doesn't differ in MSMEs. In fact, the resistance to change in MSMEs is even more, starting right from the owner, who would have said, for 20 years I have run the business like this, and now I don't want to change. I'm comfortable, whatever, complacent, from our terminology. So 4 steps. I haven't put anything fancy, but just a clear outline of what we need to do. The step number 1, if you want to implement new tools in MSMEs, this adage has to be remembered. You can't fix what you don't see. There's another saying also, you can't manage what you don't monitor, right? So I think the first step is to diagnose what is the current situation, where are the inefficiencies, where are the workflows broken, where are the processes broken. So which means that you have to sit down and start jotting down each and every process. Where are the manual touch points? Where systems are taking care of things step by step. Back in the day, I used to be a Lean Six Sigma consultant for one large company. We used to use one interesting tool. I'm sure most of you must have come across or have used the tool. It's called Value Stream Map. Simply does a mapping of the entire process steps, then does a thorough challenging of each step and say, is this step required, or can it be eliminated? Can it be automated? Can it be removed? Whatever. Yeah. So that, I think, is a basic way of looking at every process in the organization, whether it is finance or non-finance process, whether it's finance, inventory, marketing, purchase, HR, whatever, every process, we can figure out what is the stream and where there is non-value addition, and we can figure out what to automate, what to remove, etc. Here, prioritization is key. I will definitely come back to you on that. The second aspect is design a basic digital workflow. The thumb rule we have to follow is when we bring an automation expert, I'm sure when you're trying to automate something, not all cost accountants are expert at automation. So we'll bring some Excel automation expert or any UI based automation experts, etc. So if you bring the automation expert, the catch with them is they would like to automate anything and they would like to automate what is easy to automate, right? But we have to stay focused on where the return on investment is highest, where which process to automate based on the pain points that we have, based on the ROA that we get, right? It's not necessary that we have to automate everything and anything. Yeah. So again, look at all your workflows, look at your invoicing, expense tracking, inventory, payroll processing, any process that's important. Look at them and say, okay, these are the things that I want to focus on. Yeah. You have to have your prioritization methodology, and based on that, you will have to design what is the digital roadmap that you have. I think I said this earlier again, not to dwell. Focus simply on ROI. What value you get? I think that value showcase has to be made to the owner of the company, owner of the MSME. Only then the future investments into technology will come up, right? There's some sort of calculation shown here as an example, but I'm sure all of us are good at calculating how much time we saved, how much cost we saved, or what is the opportunity cost, so on and so forth. So business owners care about results, not tech jargon. We can say a lot of things. We have to handhold to show results and the ROI. Only then, it works. Last but not least, in fact, this is the most important thing according to me is we have to drive the adoption. We can't say, here is the tool I recommend. You buy it, you try it, and hope for better results. It doesn't work. I think we have to be that change leader for MSMEs, right? One of my favorites when I was studying CMA, one of our faculty used to say to explain us fixed cost variance. He used to say when you have a resource or an asset, if you use it less, you are useless. He used to say, right? So a good tool is useless unless the team really uses it. So you can bring an extraordinary tool, but nobody is trained, nobody is interested, nobody understands the benefits. There's no point of investing in that tool, right? You have to make people use it, and you have to have monitoring mechanism. You have to have constant touch points to figure out how do we move forward, what else we can do. So this is my simple 4-step process. Diagnose, study all the processes start to end, use value stream map if you will, then create a digital roadmap with prioritization of what you really want to automate, what you really want to simplify, where you want to bring new tools. You can't bring tools for all the processes. And what's the ROI? That ROI has to be showcased for us to be able to get future investments into technology. So those toll gates have to be very clear. And then most important is how do we make sure that the company adopts to these changes? Regular training, reviews, so on and so forth. So I'll take a pause here. I will turn it back to you, Madam. So, if there are questions, we can spend the next few minutes on questions, and audience most welcome to share your insights. 177 attendees, I'm sure there's a lot of experience out there. Dr. Sumita, I turn it back to you.
Yes, sir. There is a question given by a I mean, attendee, that is your presentation is on the various softwares slash app is an eye opener. Most of the MSMEs are still handling their operations through manual records, except for their manufacturing operations. Challenge is to bring in this aspect of professionalism. What's your view on this? Sir, we are not getting you. Your
Okay, are you able to hear
yes,
me now? Yeah, I
yes,
think
sir. Yes.
the point was made very well by our member. One is manufacturing process, other is where it is mandatory to adopt a tool, the company has adopted a tool, or where they have no choice, they have adopted a tool, right? But rest of the places, it is not. I kind of answered this in the four-step approach that I shared. The success factor is hand holding the MSME in implementing these tools, right? And for that, for example, you come up and say, please use Vyapar or Zoho Books or Google Sheet or that this. I think for us to get proficient at it and start making people at the organization become proficient, uh, show them the value or advantage of what is in it for you, right? If you adopt this, this is these are the benefits. Depending on the organization, sometimes the messaging and communication comes top down. Sometimes it is, you equip all the bottom level professionals and see the benefits rolling up to the top. Again, the methodology will vary from company to company. But hand holding is the key for us to be able to bring that change. We may say you're the owner of the company. I suggested a tool and it's for you to adopt it. I don't think it works well. Personally, it doesn't work well even in large companies. In MSMEs, very difficult for that approach to take place because they're already thin in terms of their headcount. They're already struggling to run their day-to-day stuff. And then you say you do this additional thing, or when a tool comes, you may want to do some parallel runs, right? So you're adding more work to them. They don't see the value. I think this goes into the shelf. So it's important to, long story short, hand holding is the key.
Sir, one more question has been raised by one of the members. Does the MSME has the right resource to invest in technology?
So that is where we have to become the evaluators, right? Um, when we are talking about new technology, do not always assume that there is an additional cost. And I think MSMEs have that mindset, right? I have to buy one more tool is an additional cost. So we have to first evaluate that additional cost would mean how much return on investment, right? What does that do? So for example, if you are not using an accounting software, a very basic example, if you're not using an accounting software, you have four units, you have four staff, and you're running the business. And I implemented an accounting software. The four people will cut down to two or one, and we get the same results and maybe better accuracy, so on and so forth. I think we should be able to showcase that. When you showcase that, I think people will be interested to invest. Now, there's another catch, and this holds good to large companies also. Those who are in the ERP, those who are in the ERP industry will know it. When the economy is not booming, ERP industry will not get a lot of business. You may show a lot of ROI for the ERP, but the business doesn't have the cash flows to invest into this new technology, right? I think holds good to MSMEs also. We have to take this idea at a point when they have enough cash to, handle. Again, tools could be 10,000 rupees to 10 lakh rupees. It's a small amount. They have the cash is a different story. But otherwise, you have to take it at the right time when they have cash flows, and then help them understand the ROI of the cash flows over a period of 6 months or 1 year or whatever, 3 years, 5 years, depending on the tool. And I think we should be able to get the benefit out of it.
Sir,
Back to
one
you.
more question. Can cost audit be analyzed and the manual verifications be done through the applications? This is the last question, sir.
Not an issue, madam. Number of questions is not an issue. Personally, I am not aware of tools that help us to cost audit through the tool. So if there is any other member who has insights on that, should be able to share. But I'll definitely research and get back, and share additional information on that. This is my number. Let me share it on the screen. Is my screen still on share mode? Yeah, so yeah, I think I'm still sharing. So long story short, I am not aware of any tools that are directly useful for us to generate reports required for cost audit purposes. But if there is anything, I would definitely be interested to explore and share. If it doesn't exist, even more a reason why we can, as members, take that as an opportunity to build some tools, and that becomes a good revenue generation opportunity for us. I guess you're on mute, madam. You're on mute.
Yes, sir. Now, would it be possible for a competitor to access an MSME's data which has been uploaded on the, say, ChatGPT or Gemini, etc.?
Can you start from the beginning, madam? I couldn't hear the first part. I think
I'm repeating it. Would it be possible for a competitor to access an MSME's data which has been uploaded on say ChatGPT or Gemini, etc.?
Yeah, any of these generative tools do not share information, across the board. I mean, your information doesn't go to somebody else. That's the promise that all the generative AI is doing, right? But do they hold the information? The answer is yes. Can they utilize the information in a different way? Quite possible, right? All your social media sites such as Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, when they collect all your information, yes, there's a lot of controversy that this information gets used to commercialize or to generate different sources of revenue. I think the same rule holds good here, even though every generative AI says your data is safe with us. But can your competitor directly access your GPT? No. Can your competitor directly access the data that you uploaded? No. Unless the generative AI company starts selling and creating an opportunity to share that information elsewhere.
Okay, sir. There is a very nice presentation because all of your attendees, mostly they have mentioned in that way that it is a very nice presentation, and some of them has requested for having your PPT. So
Certainly.
if it is possible, sir, please forward it to us in
Certainly, madam.
msvb.seki. So we will be sharing those who are interested. So very nice presentation. Thank you so much on behalf of the MSME and Startup Promotion Board. And we hope we may get you again as per the requirement mentioned by the attendees today. Okay,
Certainly,
sir?
madam. It was a pleasure, and thank you very much for listening to me today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, sir. One second. Cancel full month.
Right. Continue.